All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome to Herb Talk with Great Health by God. My name is Matt Pollard. We're waiting on people to join. As we wait on some people to join, today we're going to be talking about a couple of compounds that I use religiously, or I at least have them in my medicine cabinet, right? I've got my cold brew coffee right here. I love cold brew coffee. It's fantastic. I can make a big batch of it and just use it whenever. It's the best ever, and it tastes so good. You don't have all the crazy weird variances and tolerances of making regular coffee and maybe doing something not quite the way you wanted to. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I forgot to hit the record button on this, but that's okay. I hit the record button on the other part. So we will use that one rather than this one. So I like the other one better anyways. All right. So, I'll give it a couple of minutes for people to join. And then we'll get started. Definitely, if nobody joins, that's fantastic. I've got plenty to talk about, so don't you worry. I could talk all day about a lot. So, did want to go through a bunch of different posts today that we've had. All right. We're about to talk about it. On the Herb Talk. Whoa. I got myself a new guitar and some equipment. I'm going to be bringing back my podcast equipment from the church so I can get my mic set up working. I have my mic. I've got all sorts of stuff that I can't use until I get all my other stuff, the other half of the stuff. So the quality of sound, hearing the animals in the background and stuff like that is about to go away, hopefully. So we'll be able to stop all that little bit of noise. I don't know if you can see right there, that mark right there. Those are my stud marks and stuff that I'm about to be drilling holes and putting some studs in here in this big old tin can and building out my office in here. So today I received a bunch of different herbs that we're going to be formulating with and experimenting with. I've got my capsule maker ready, so we can make capsules together. We can do a bunch of different stuff. Part of that's going to be in the herbalism class. But in the herbalism class, we will really dive deep into making your own supplements, how to pick the right herbs, how to pick the quantities, all that kind of stuff, because it is really important. There's a lot of things that we will, people will choose herbs and grab herbs and they'll just load up on them, extreme this, extreme that, but really the right quantities are super important. What's up, Lane?
Hey.
I was just talking about things to come.
Nice.
Yeah, I get a bunch of herbs today. I'm excited. I ordered like 20 different herbs, and And I have my capsule maker ready and stuff, so I'm about to start making some supplements and different things. But like specifically catered to supplements, you know. Because I think it's important that we get exactly what we need and not anything more, less, or indifferent, you know. If that makes sense.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Oh, and I started to get like some of my equipment set up that I've got. I've acquired a bunch of equipment over the years, and but the sound wasn't working right. And some of the videos that I had recorded recently, like the sound was off. It sounded really good. It just wasn't syncing up, and it was only on one side, like right or left. And I don't know what happened to this, but something happened to where it won't. I can't get it to go mono or stereo or whatever it is to both ears, and when it records right and left. So it's super weird. So I'm about to bring my podcasting equipment back from the church and start using it. So I don't have to have it at the church. I just use it because it's easier. But so it's about to sound a lot better. And then I got my studs marked out right here. If you can see that little line, I got them marked out all the way across. So I'm about to start building out the office in here. And then it's going to be really cool because I can set up, I've got a stainless steel table right here. I can set up the stainless steel table. And we can actually do stuff on these herb talks. It'll be really fun. Put together formulas and stuff. And not hear roosters. I'm going to go ahead and dive in on DMSO and MSM, and then afterwards we can all talk and hang out. So, do you know what DMSO is? Anybody? Anybody?
I could have told you yesterday when when I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know. And
Yeah.
then the night has passed. So,
Yeah.
tutor me.
So DMSO is dimethyl sulfoxide. And it is a naturally occurring compound that comes from tree pulp. It's an organic compound, and it is a colorless liquid. I would say it's odorless, but it's not. It has like a garlicky type odor and a garlicky type taste, right? Because it's that sulfur compound. Now, the sulfur compound in DMSO and the sulfur compound in garlic are different. One's more active than the other, but it still off-puts that kind of garlicky smell, right? And sorry, I was looking at something. But yeah, so it still has that kind of garlicky smell and taste. Now the weird thing and the really fun thing about DMSO is that it moves through your body faster than anything intravenous, right? So you can take a shot you can take a shot on one foot and put DMSO on your other foot, and the DMSO will travel through your body before the shot ever gets through your body, right? It travels with extreme speed. Now here's the really cool part about DMSO is that it also is a solvent. And there's not like a whole lot of solvents in the world, right? Water is the most universal solvent. When you put something in it, it dissolves stuff into it, right? Same with alcohol, glycerin, like vegetable glycerin, and DMSO, There's a couple of others, but there's not really that many. Acids, right? Vinegar, that kind of stuff. But DMSO is one of those that will dissolve compounds. Now, the cool thing about DMSO is it will dissolve water-based compounds and a lot of lipid-based, the polar compounds, right? So you can almost make a hydroethanol extract with it, with just using it, where you use alcohol tincture and then like water-based as a tea, right? But it kind of combines the two. It doesn't dissolve all lipid-soluble constituents though. So, but it does do a lot of them. But it actually has FDA approval for some treatments, which is crazy. I usually don't talk about FDA approved stuff, but and it's been used since the 1950s. It used to be used. It actually used to be used by the medical industry in lieu of shots. They would actually put medication with DMSO and then put it on the body in order to absorb it better than.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Cookie's trying to get in on the video. I was just gonna let you know so you can accept it.
Oh, is she trying to join?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. Where's she at? It doesn't say that she. Anything. Hold on. I mean, she can get in on the video. I don't have, or she's not a part of the. She's trying to join on school.
Probably. Let me ask her a few more questions and I'll get back with you. I'm sorry, Petra.
No, you're good. Yeah, just let me know because I can't see that she's tried to join or anything. But yeah, so it was used for a long time in the medical industry. Well, they started noticing some really great benefits that were kind of on a side note to it being a solvent and being able to carry things through the body. It itself has some really amazing properties and benefits that heal the body, right? Or at least support the body in its healing. And they didn't like that, so they made it illegal for a while, and it made it really difficult to get, which is just crazy to me. But they still used it on horses and stuff. It's kind of like the story of ivermectin, right? Ivermectin's probably the most well-known distributed substance or prescription drug across the entire world, but for humans, right? But as soon as COVID hit, they were saying, oh, it's a horse pill or horse, parasite cleanser or whatever. People taking horse medicine. Well, DMSO is kind of in that similar category. They started using it on horses to administer medicine to horses and took it away from humans. And then they created this whole story about how a woman died from DMSO. There's news articles from the 50s that you can see. They created all this hype and fear around DMSO by stating that this woman died from it, and that's not the case at all. And so they outlawed it basically. But it's still, so that some of that's come back now, where it's still approved for certain uses. So the FDA approved it for treatment of interstitial cystitis or bladder inflammation. So it is an approved use for that, for getting rid of bladder inflammation. And it's kind of cool, the mechanism that it uses to, what it does is it changes the cell structure, the membrane structure. So as soon as it touches your cell, it kind of just opens up the cells and makes them permeable. The contact of it, because of the chemistry that happens between the active compounds and everything, it it almost makes it like it's a metal wall, and then it makes it into water, and you can just walk through it, and then that cell solidifies behind it. It's super weird, right? How it works, and that's how it can move through the body. Literally moves right through the cells. So that being said, you have to be careful with it, because it is a solvent, because it is so easily permeable, and it can carry whatever with it. If it touches your clothing while it's touching your skin, it will draw the dyes out of your clothing, and whatever toxic pesticide, whatever laden on your clothing, it will take that into your skin as well. So you have to have really good clean skin wherever you're going to use it, and put it on that location. Wait till it dries or completely soaks in before you touch anything else with it, right? Because you don't want to draw more toxins into your body. And that's part of the danger around, people using it, is that little piece that a lot of people don't know about, because you can go buy it on a shelf in a health food store, but there's no warnings about that, right? Most people don't buy it unless they know, obviously, but it's really, really awesome stuff. I like to mix stuff in it. They already have like pre-mixed what you can get at the health food store. You can get like an aloe vera 30-70 mix or whatever, so it makes it into a gel, and then you can add whatever you want to add to it, herbs or whatever. And I'll get into a little bit of what we did this week for Jennifer for that. But it's also used in laboratories as a solvent for drugs and biological compounds, and it preserves them too. It's used for cryopreservation as well, freezing cells, stem cells, and embryos. So it's still used to this day for that purpose, right? It is a preservative, and it doesn't freeze at really, really low temperatures. So they use it in cryopreservation. And it's used for topically for pain and inflammation. It has an amazing ability to go right to the problem, and that oxygen molecule that it carries oxygenates the tissues, but it also kills bacteria and anything that's going on in there, right? Super antibacterial. It will help to curb that inflammation. It also softens the tissues around injuries and things like that. Now, for a long time, I believed that DMSO was a direct calcium dissolver. It's not quite the case. What it does is it softens the tissues, which allows the immune system to then come in and help get rid of some excess calcium and stuff. So I thought the sulfur compound was directly reacting, but it's a different kind of sulfur. But it will reduce inflammation. It acts as a free radical scavenger, so antioxidant like activity. It improves circulation locally to that area. It relaxes your muscles, and it enhances permeability of tissues. This is really key for hydration of that area too, for hydration of those tissues, which is part of that softening effect that it can have. But it's a natural organic compound, and it's really awesome. It also helps to detox the area. But one of the coolest parts of it that I have learned is, hold on, I'm gonna try to find this in my notes so I don't mess it up. Let's see, I've got a lot of notes. So let's see. Okay, before I get to that, so the way that it reduces pain, let's see. No, we'll go. Sorry, I've got a lot of notes on this. I've got 23 pages of notes on this. Well, we're also going to talk about MSM, which I really like. MSM is pretty awesome. So it improves the microcirculation to the area, and you can notice this if you put it on your skin and you're sensitive to different things, it'll itch and it'll kind of get red a little bit. It almost creates like a histamine response. But the weird thing is that it's not a histamine response. It's just your skin sensitivity to the sulfur. But it actually helps in histamine response and immune signaling, right? So it'll actually help to regulate the immune system for like autoimmune issues. It's really cool. She hadn't tried to get in yet. All right, cool. So its action, it down regulates inflammatory cytokines. So and it reduces mast cell degranulation. So mast cells kind of control histamine release, and or it controls the ability for the immune system to create histamines, or it's like a cycle, right? And so one part of autoimmune issues is the recycling of histamines, and the histamines are signaling the immune system to become overactive, right? And so this is really cool because you can actually down-regulate that histamine response. So for autoimmune issues, or just somebody with really sensitive allergies and stuff like that, like, you know, people take Benadryl and stuff. Well, this has a very similar action in down-regulating that histamine release in the cycle of the immune system. So really, really awesome. It helps modulate the immune system, the cell activation in that way. So people with autoimmune issues, super, super awesome to take DMSO. That was actually one of the missing pieces that I could never figure out with autoimmunity, is the mast cell regulation. But now here we are. It's really, really, really awesome. Because everything else is pretty easy with autoimmunity as far as what you can do to possibly go into remission. It's just dietary, environmental, and everything. But then there's certain parts of it that you have to kind of figure out how to lead the body in the right direction, and this is one of them. So it has been shown to influence gene expression. That's pretty awesome. And it induces differentiation in some cell types. That's pretty awesome that it can actually influence your genes, right? We talked a little bit about epigenetics last week, I think. The control of your genetics. You can control 80% of your genetic predisposition. DMSO is one of those compounds that can actually help to control that gene expression for the better. I'm not sure exactly what genes it directly, and I'll look more into this obviously, but I'm not sure what genes it directly influences. But some of the things that DMSO can also do is it's used as a carrier, right? So a lot of times it's used as a carrier for magnesium, iodine, different herbal extracts, methylene blue. That's a really interesting compound. Ozone oil, CBD, and colloidal silver. I'll go ahead and talk about now what we did this week for Jennifer. So Jennifer stepped on a rusty nail. We're kind of living in a construction zone right now, and she didn't see it, and before she could see it, she was already on it, and it went pretty deep into her foot. Well, I've stepped on a ton of nails out here, and it's never caused me any issues, but it's just that one that gets you that, you know, can cause problems. Well, we didn't think anything of it other than, you know, ow, that hurt. And she went to the store, came back, you know, was cooking, all this stuff. went to bed, and next day she woke up, she couldn't walk, right? It had swollen up, was red everywhere, her toes were all fat, and it was just crazy, right? I was like, holy crap, this sucks. It's infected. You could tell it was infected. And so we you know, her, like we have emergency items that we use, health items, and one of them is bentonite clay for wounds. So before, she had thrown some bentonite clay on it, it stops the bleeding, all that kind of stuff, and it draws out toxins. And I think that helped initially to draw out anything, but it still got infected. And so I went to work, and she told me when she woke up she couldn't walk, so I came back from work and took the kids to school and came back and doctored her up. And some of the things that we did, if you've seen the video, I don't know if I mentioned everything, but we went to town, and we did everything in a process, right? So first thing I wanted to do was stop the biological activity that was happening, right? I wanted to stop the bacteria, whatever it was that had infected it. I wanted to stop that initially. And then, and this is how so this is what we go through in the courses, is how to think about things strategically, right? So, you know, you have to think, okay, how does this act? What's the nature of what's going on? And then how can we address it strategically in a way that will, you know, move it out of the body, kill it, whatever you have to do, right? So when you're looking at bacterial infection, a lot of things are happening. Bacteria produce toxins. And so the toxins are the main issue with bacterial infections. It's not actually the bacteria, it's what the bacteria produces. And so what you want to do is first kill the bacteria, second, get the toxin out, and then allow for healing, right? So how you do that is, so I went straight to the DMSO and MSM, and this is why we're talking about it. DMSO will kill that bacteria, create permeability, hydration, and easier movement for the immune system in that area, better circulation in that area, everything. But it also carries compounds with it. So what I did was I took the aloe vera and the DMSO mix, and I added essential oils to it. Clove, extremely antibacterial, cinnamon oil, eucalyptus, those types that are very antibacterial, antifungal, you know, anti-everything, anti-parasite, antiviral. So anything that's in there, it's going to kill and stop. And so we went around the whole foot with that. I didn't want to just do the area, even though it will take and move it, you know, DMSO will take and move it through the body super, super quick. I didn't want to give it the ability to still move up the leg, right? So I started at the ankle and came back towards it and put it around the whole area. And then after I knew that it's not going to make it through that, then we did a drawing salve. And I had her take things internally as well. So I had her take MSM and a curcuminoid, which is like turmeric, and boswellic acid for anti-inflammation, right? Just to help in the whole process with the immune system and pain and everything else, and flushing all that out. The body has a way of moving fluid and getting rid of things on its own. A lot of people are like, yeah, you know, you keep the wound open, let it bleed, and all that stuff to get the toxins out. That's, yes, you know, yes, but if you get to it quick enough, the body will remove the fluid on its own. It doesn't have to come out of the skin. It's just one way of doing it. And I think that's more of a modern medical way of doing it. But I've seen it in traditional herbalism as well, like with bloodletting and stuff like that, concentrating microcirculation and then letting it bleed out with all the toxins and stuff. It is a thing, but the body will deal with it on its own. If I had an injury and had fluid in my knee or whatnot, I haven't had to get it drained. The body will it'll get rid of it. Once you get all that inflammation and everything taken care of, if you give it all the right things, the body will move that fluid out properly. The immune system is built to do those things. Swelling goes down naturally, right? Those things go down naturally over time, and your body deals with it. So it's not always the case where you have to go to the extreme of opening up the wound or anything and letting it bleed out. But so what we did was, instead of opening the wound, we did bentonite clay and MSM mix, Methylsulfonylmethane mix, powdered, mixed it, and then you wet it into like a clay, and then put it on there like a mask, right? Put it around the whole thing. This I didn't go around the whole foot. I wanted to draw it towards the actual wound area where it had happened, and not put it around the foot to draw it further into the foot, right? So you have to think about strategically with that. So I put it on the end of the foot, and it was up under the ball of her toes right there. And what happened was, as it dries, it soaks up toxins, it absorbs toxins. It also does a cation exchange with minerals to actually absorb toxins as well. Bentonite clay is super awesome. It's also antibacterial, antifungal, all those things as well. But we use it for all the wounds out here specifically because it stops bleeding within seconds, right? It's like putting super glue on it, but then it'll create a really hard scab in that area, which is really cool. So I don't know why you just texted that. But sorry, my wife's making fun of me. Let's see. All right, so it pulls toxins from the tissue as well, right? So it enhances lymphatic flow. So because of its permeability of being able to change the environment around it, it will change the cell walls and create that permeability, but it does that through every tissue it touches, including the lymphatic system, which is really key for getting lymphatic flow going or getting toxins like heavy metals out. It'll help to detox heavy metals. And that's what I'm saying. DMSO has all these different side notes that it does, rather than its critical action of anti-inflammation, like right on the topical spot, or being a carrier for other herbs. It alone has all these really awesome benefits. It will help with scar tissue, adhesion, fibrosis. It will help in cancer support as well. It'll help deliver compounds to tumors directly to it, which is really awesome. It modifies cancer cell behavior, which is really cool. And it's a mitochondria enhancer, so oxidative stress reduction, circulatory improvement. Let's see. So I'm going through my notes right now. Let's see. Yeah. I've already gone through all this. I've jumped ahead. Let's see. So, some of the ways that it's used, I've gone through a little bit of this. Topical, you can use it with different herbs. It penetrates the membranes of cells but carries everything with it. It's anti-inflammatory and mast cell modulating with the immune system. Herbal pairings and histamine implications. Let's see. So some of the herbs to pair it with. Let's go over that. It's really great with mushrooms, getting those beta-glucans and polysaccharides, those immune modulating compounds into the body quick, fast, and easy. It's really good with anti-inflammatories, things that have direct influence on the area that it comes in contact with. Boswellic acid, which comes from frankincense, is one of the best anti-inflammatory compounds out there, and most people are hooked on turmeric because of it's just a really well researched and really famous herb, but boswellic acid really doesn't get the justice it deserves. I always like to do both of them. They both have different actions, but for joint pain, for any inflammation in the body like that, it is super awesome. Arnica, so arnica has a direct pain numbing effect almost, right? So mixing with arnica is really awesome. And comfrey is really great, has a ton of awesome benefits, but it's not traditionally taken internally, and there's some issues around that. So DMSO, for a lot of compounds that you can't necessarily take internally, or they get broken down internally by digestive things that happen, like acid and stuff like that, or different enzymes that break different compounds down that are effective, you can put with DMSO and do it through the skin. So for circulation, hawthorn, ginkgo, gatucola, all really awesome cardiovascular herbs. Especially, I love ginkgo because of its microcirculation. It gets microcirculation or blood to the microcirculatory system and oxygen. So really awesome for your brain. Really awesome for your phalanges, if you will. DMSO improves microcirculation and nervous system calming herbs. Lemon balm, skullcap, CBD, which I think isn't CBD illegal now in Alabama. I don't even pay attention to it. Magnesium, those sort of nervous system calming minerals and herbs, really awesome with DMSO. You just have to make sure that what you're using is pure, right? You have to make sure that what you're using with DMSO is pure. DMSO does not discriminate, okay? It will take whatever, wherever, and send it through your body. So you want to make sure that you don't have any solvent residues on your skin, like soaps or anything like that. You want to make sure that your stuff doesn't have any mold toxins in it, any pesticides or alcohol even. You just want to make sure that what you're using is pure, right? It really matters when you're talking DMSO. We talked about how, yeah, I've skipped way ahead. Let's get into MSM. So MSM is methylsulfonylmethane. Methylsulfonylmethane. It's actually the oxidized metabolite of DMSO, and that's why we're talking about it, because they are closely related, but they have different actions. And when I was talking about the sulfur compound in DMSO, MSM is different. So MSM sulfur is a more reactive sulfur. It's a more stabilized. Well, it is more bioavailable, put it that way, right? So it is more stable, but it's more bioavailable. It's able to be used for amino acids, right? For methionine and cysteine and glutathione production, right? That sulfur is actually able to be used for collagen cross-linking. So this is where you get that elasticity in your skin from, is sulfur, right? Everything in the world that has elasticity, bamboo, what makes bamboo different from every other tree out there is the amount of sulfur that it has in its cells. And that's what makes it extremely flexible, but extremely strong, right? So your skin, the reason it has elasticity is because the bond that sulfur creates amongst other compounds, right? So sulfur is extremely important for your hair, skin, nails, all your connective tissue, every bit of it. When you're going through scar tissue, when you have injuries with scar tissue, extremely important compound for healing that, right? It will help to break up that scar tissue, and when you mix it with vitamin C, it becomes 10 times more effective, because vitamin C's ability to help repair scar tissue. So, and if you want vitamin C to be 10 times more effective, take MSM, vice versa. It helps to, so the sulfation pathways help to detox the liver, which is really awesome. Which is used to process hormones, toxins, neurotransmitters. Let's see. I already talked about that. Gosh dang, I jump ahead too much. Proper collagen scaffolding, so I talked about that. It reduces inflammatory cytokines, so TNF alpha. Tumor necrosis factor is what that means. So it helps to reduce those tumor necrosis factor alpha. Now those inflammatory responses are important, right? So you need those, but the problem is we have too many inflammatory compounds in our diet. It becomes overactive and it actually causes a bunch of issues in our body, including tumors. So reducing those inflammatory compounds and regulating them is really key. That's what MSM helps to do. Let's see. It helps in the glutathione production, like I said. The dosage range. Now, I have not seen a dosage range that is dangerous for MSM. DMSO is a little bit different. It's a lot more active. You probably shouldn't just layer it on like crazy all the time. It's not going to kill you, but you're gonna end up touching something's gonna end up getting it's gonna end up getting in there that you don't want, right? So it's better to use caution with DMSO. MSM's not quite the same way. It's not as crazy active as DMSO. 1 to 3 grams per day is plenty. Now, if you have a serious issue, and this is all anecdotal, okay, but I have seen where people have gotten bitten by venomous snakes, and the methylation or the ability to methylate and to provide detox and everything else, and what MSM does in neutralizing toxins, they were able to take up to a pound of MSM a day for, I think it was 11 days, and they survived one of the most poisonous or venomous snake bites in the world. Very interesting. That's probably what my go-to would be, is MSM. If I got bit by a snake and I would load up on it like crazy, I would also go to get anti-venom from a doctor. But that could be the difference between saving somebody's life. It is something that you always want to have in your emergency kit, along with bentonite clay. Let's see. So I have seen too where you can, I had this question a long time ago where, can you mix them together, like DMSO and MSM? The thing is that there's really no point, right? You can do it if you want to get that more bioavailable form of sulfur into the tissue right where it's at. That would make sense, a more localized sulfur issue for scar tissue, for rebuilding, repair. And what I would do is mix DMSO, MSM, and vitamin C together and put it right there on the issue, inflammatory issue, right? But it doesn't make sense otherwise for any other issue, for the autoimmune issue or anything else, to mix them together, because MSM is already so easily bioavailable. If orally, taken orally and going through your digestive system, you're getting 80% of everything that you take, right? So it's not that big of a deal to have to go around that process and get it through your skin. DMSO, however, can be taken internally, and if you want it just for an all-around, for all of its benefits that it gives you, you can take it internally and just a little bit at a time. Those dosages depend as well. Let me go over this real quick, and then we'll get to just talking and hanging out. Sorry I've taken so long. But dosages of DMSO. So DMSO needs to be diluted, right? You can get a 90%, I think it's 90-10 from the store. You can get a 30%. I think that might be as low as you can go. It still needs to be diluted a little bit. You can use that, but it will sting your skin for sure. At the 90% for sure, it'll sting your skin. Some people don't have an issue with it, but it will sting, and it gets irritated for a little bit and then it goes away, right? But you can take drops of it, but you want to get a food grade, a really good DMSO. You don't want to get one that's possibly toxic, possibly has compounds in there that you don't want. So you want to get a really good one. There are some really good companies out there, and if I had mine with me, I could tell you what company we get it from. Jennifer probably has it if she's over there by our stuff, but yeah, you can find it in most health stores. They'll have it on the shelf sitting there. But that's the conclusion for MSM, DMSO, what you can use it for, what they do. Really awesome for injuries, for autoimmune issues, for regulating your immune system, for oxygenating your blood and your cells. And one of the coolest things I think is just the permeability that DMSO creates for other compounds to get in there. Super active and super awesome. But I already went over one of the events that we had over the week with Jennifer's foot, and now she's up and walking and moving. She was sore for a little while, but it had the swellings down. She's able to move her toes. She's able to walk without a boot or crutches. How many days, what was it? It was Tuesday that she woke up and couldn't walk. So it happened Monday. So yes, it's Saturday now. So yeah. So a few days for, healing and drawing that out. We did do, just so you know, we did do the DMSO, every few hours, and then we did the drawing salve, right? We did that 2 or 3 times? I don't know if she's still listening. Yeah, 2 or 3 times we did that. Okay. We did that 2 or 3 times, the drawing salve, just to make sure we're getting everything out of there. You want to stay on top of it. You want to monitor it. If something gets infected like that, you want to get on top of it fast, and you want to monitor it just in case you have to go get a toe removed or something, because that's the extreme of what could happen. I know somebody that's had to have a leg removed, all the way up to the knee, because they didn't properly address an infection that was in their foot. And it can move, and it can grow, and it's fast. Bacteria doubles. Gosh dang, I can't remember exactly the rate at which bacteria grows, but it doubles. every time it grows. And so when you look at the doubling, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but the doubling of a penny every day for a month, you end up with over $1 million, right? You double what you got every single day and you end up with over $1 million. You wouldn't think it, but that compounding effect rapidly grows. So you have to stay on top of it. You have to watch it and monitor it. And you got to get busy working on it with herbs, natural remedies, natural strategies, and to eliminate it properly and help the body heal. So, sweet. I'm all out of breath. That was a long one. I need to organize my notes a little better too, because I keep jumping ahead. Any questions, concerns, or anything like that? And then I'm going to go over some of the fun posts.
You said DMSO tastes like garlic. I just want to know, is it edible?
Yes.
So you can't eat it. Okay.
Yeah, you can take it internally.
Okay.
That was part of the last thing that I was saying. You can put it in like a dropper bottle and take it internally. But one dropper full of a diluted form is perfectly fine. You can dilute it to like 10% if you want to with a distilled water, because you don't know what's in any other water. A distilled water and DMSO, and you can dilute it to 10%. You can buy it in 30% already, I believe. So then you just got to dilute it a little bit more, or you can buy the concentrated 90% and dilute it to 10 in a dropper bottle, and just take one dropper full a day.
Okay, so what we have you cannot take internal.
No, we'd have to dilute it. That's like a 90%, right?
Got it.
I think the liquid form that we have is a 90%.
Yeah, I just wanted to give my testimony because I was terrified. I kept saying I needed to go to the hospital. Even Matt was like, and you guys, like everybody on here knows my husband, he is not one to say, yeah, let's go to the hospital, because he was really concerned. And I said, well, don't you want to try your method first and just kind of see if that works? And, because I do trust him 100% with my life. So I was like, if you want to try it, I'm willing to see, and we'll wait a couple of days. So I'm glad that we did, so that we could definitely testify that it does work and it does help.
One of the things that it really sucks, I forgot to mention, was the first thing I did was I laid hands on her and prayed, and I literally watched the swelling just start to go down as we were praying. And I think that is extremely important. Prayer is extremely important to watch God work.
Absolutely.
And Jesus was working, for sure. I think that's going to be my new catchphrase. Jesus is still working. So,
Hey, Matt?
yeah.
Would you prefer a gel or a liquid in DMSO?
So it depends on your application. So if you're going to get real technical and real fun with it and make your own formulas and stuff, the liquid is more is more versatile in what you can do with it. But the gel is already mixed with aloe vera, so you don't have to add that if you're going to do a more of like a salve or something that you would put on the skin topically. So that's a really good base for topical stuff.
Now, the DMSO as a gel should always have an aloe vera in it to help soothe the skin, because the DMSO is so strong on the skin. Is that correct?
Well, it's just the best. It's the best gel like substance that's clean, and yeah, it is going to provide some of that moisturizing. It's gonna stop that irritation. Not necessarily stop it either. Some people's skin is really sensitive and it'll still irritate it.
Right, it'll cause the redness.
Yeah.
Your dad's been doing DMSO for them all 3 times. Straight DMSO with aloe vera.
Yeah.
Every day, put it on a certain area for a.
Yeah.
It has helped. Yeah. But I've started this. It's Dr. Luke DMSO 99.9%. It's a cream.
Yeah.
And it's got a bunch of different stuff mixed with it for my joints, for the arthritis stuff. I've started it this week, and it's actually been helping a lot with my back and my knees, my feet. And I've been able to rake leaves and stand a little longer and do a little bit more than having it.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I recover so quickly, right, from different injuries and different things. It definitely it's super awesome for all that inflammation and injuries.
Would you be able to mix, like with Jennifer, because I'm a huge colloidal silver person for infection.
Oh, we did put colloidal silver on it.
Okay, so you did.
Yeah, I forgot.
Did DMSO or did you?
Yeah, so what I did was I put the DMSO on, and then right after I put this was only one time, but I did put the colloidal silver on top of the DMSO so it would draw it in quicker. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, because I'm huge on that because I've had great success when I got the infection after my surgery of gallbladder removal and used DMSO for not DMSO but colloidal silver for a few days and it's totally cleared it up.
That dang rooster.
And I get
Yeah.
to go to the doctor and everything.
Yeah. No, yeah, I did. I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Where could one find DMSO if they wanted to purchase it?
So any local health food store, Whole Foods should have it as well. You can also order it online.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon has it. It's not expensive either. It's a byproduct of making wood, right? It comes from wood pulp. So it is readily available. So it's not super expensive. It is a awesome compound that you can use. And I would get fun with it. You can mix it with different things, take it internally and stuff like that. Just you have to be careful with it.
Yeah, we get ours off of Amazon, but read through it, check to make sure what people are saying about it, and make sure it's pure. We get 99.9% pure.
Yeah.
So make sure you get pure and read your comments and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a lot of information surrounding it. There's a lot of people out there that have done different things with it. There's a lot of information on it. It's been around since the 50s. I think it was outlawed in the 60s, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly when. But, and then it came back around, made a comeback. I don't think it's outlawed anymore. But...
Well, I can see where it could be very dangerous because, like you said, if you're not watching what you're touching and everything, because it will absorb everything into your body.
Yeah, you don't
touch the wrong thing.
It's definitely something you have to have in like the right situation. You don't want to just throw it on and go to work, right? Or anything else. It's like, okay, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to completely. Like, if you use a liberal amount on the area, it takes about 10 minutes to completely dry and soak into your skin. But if you put it on the bottom of your foot, you will taste it in about 30 seconds. That's how fast it moves through your body. Yeah. You would taste...
When you put it on my foot, I tasted it.
Yeah, you'll taste like almost a garlicky type... and it's subtle, but you'll taste it. It's pretty wild. But that's why I love it, because you can do so much with it. It really is. The possibilities with it are infinite. But yeah, you do want to be careful. Some herbs are not meant to be mixed with DMSO as well. I would check when you're looking at herbs, are they extremely like forceful herbs? Like are they gentle acting herbs? That difference, because DMSO will supercharge it, it will make all the difference in the effect that you get, right? That's why I like mixing more tonic herbs, tonic herbalism herbs or adaptogens with DMSO, because there isn't the huge issue of possible harm done to yourself with it. So you have to be careful even when using pure herbs on what herbs you choose to use with it. But if you mix vitamin C and MSM with that, Mom, you will get an amazing effect, even greater for your joints and such.
Yeah, I think this has MSM in this cream.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it has MSM and it has a couple other things in here. It has magnesium and has a couple other things mixed in this cream of DMSO. It's 99.9% pharma grade.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go. That's
pure.
See, that's a great example. People are already making these awesome formulas out there. It's just up to us to be able to discern what's going to be best for us and the quality of it.
Do you think you could post a picture of it and share it on the page, Kitty?
Yeah, I got it off Amazon. It's Dr. Luke DMSO.
Okay.
It's a cream.
Yeah.
And it's made for, joint pain and stuff. And now
Nice.
what Robert uses, his dad uses, is just a gel with aloe vera and DMSO. It's 99 pure. And I can post a picture of both of what we both use.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome. Just for those wondering where they can get it, what it is, be familiar.
Yeah, and it's not really, like I said, it's not real expensive. And actually, right now, Amazon has 30% off on some of it, on DMSO going on.
Oh, nice.
Because that's why I just ordered Popsis, which sometimes they're on back order for about 2 weeks because it is a popular item.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. That means it works.
Mm-hmm.
So just so everybody knows, you have all been entered into a drawing at the end of this month. Next week is the end of the month. So if you're going to be on, so every time you get on Herb Talk, you get an extra draw in the pot. Right? Yep. So if you...
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Did you talk about the war that the FDA declared on it and some of the history?
I went a little bit. I didn't go. I just stated that they didn't like it because of the benefits of it, and they outlawed it for a little while.
Yeah, they didn't like it as an understatement.
Yeah.
Congressional efforts.
Yeah.
They went against the American people, and
Yeah.
it was just the FDA.
Yeah. Well, and then they made up the story about how the woman died from it.
Right.
And they put out a propaganda campaign about that, and pushed it around the. And they also I believe they did that with colloidal silver as well. They did I don't
be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think they went as far as with DMSO, but with colloidal silver, I remember they put out a propaganda campaign against it, stating that people were turning blue and all this stuff from taking it, to put fear.
I heard that.
Yeah, put fear in people's hearts about it. So it is I try not to go too intense on that, because it's not as relevant as to healing. But it is relevant to know that they are not for you. They are against you. But yeah, a lot of people, when they hear stuff like that, they'll be like, oh, whatever, that person's crazy. I'm not going to listen to them. So I don't go too far into that. But But yeah, it is a serious matter. They'll fight you on everything. That's why I can't say certain things. I can't talk about certain things or certain things that I've helped people with, you know. It's difficult to word your words properly in order to not get sued, in order to not get, I'm not talking about getting sued by people, I'm talking about getting sued by the government or the FDA, because when, like right now they're not going to come after me, but if I were to have a larger influence, people would be after me right now for saying particular things. So I have to watch how I word things, even if it's true, right? So I talked with Dr. Wright not too long ago. I've been talking to him every other week or so, and because I worked with him a long time ago in Washington, and he fought the FDA and he won several times against the FDA. They came into his business. He was a medical doctor. He had an MD. He was a medical doctor for like 20 plus years before they came into his practice, broke everything, held him at gunpoint, took all of his stuff because he was giving people vitamins and minerals. Literally, that's all he was doing. And he was healing people. And so they stopped his practice. He took it to court and won twice. They did this to him. And he took it to court and won. And so I started working with him in 2012, somewhere around 2012, 2013. And then went back out there to work with them in 2014, I think, somewhere around there. And it's really awesome working with him. He is a wealth of knowledge. He's really, really old now. He's like in his 80s now. So he's not in his practice anymore. But I still talk to him. So I've been talking to him a little bit about Michael. But he's just a wealth of knowledge. But he, you know, still to this day, he's like, yep, they just want their money. You know, they just trying to they don't care about people. They're just trying to keep people sick and everything like that. He's constantly talking about that. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. So, but he's witnessed it firsthand and took them to court and won. So, it's possible to fight back and it's possible to win. It just takes a lot of wealth and knowledge to be able to do so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did some research on it. Because I use it. I've been using it for years. And I didn't know the history of it. And I didn't know all the things that it addresses and has helped with some things like Down syndrome and other things.
Yep, it genetically.
So,
it helps with gene expression to express the proper genes. So.
Yeah.
Even if you're given a bad hand, you can express the best possible genes that you have and still be dealt a good hand. So.
True. They can change.
So, yeah. Well, that's we're over an hour, so I'm gonna end it here. But thanks for joining, everybody. Before I go, every time you join in a month, right? So in the month of February, every time you've joined the Herb Talk, you get put into a drawing. So Lane's gonna have like 4 in the drawing pot because she's been here every week. And so, but every time you join in the Herb Talk, you will get put into the drawing. And at the end of the month, we do a drawing for a supplement that we're gonna send out to you. This month's is reishi mushroom, and you'll get a month's supply of it, right? So, and a month's supply of it, I think, is 10 1-inch pieces, because you can use them for 3 days straight. So, for 30 days. But 1-inch cubes of reishi mushroom that was harvested here in Alabama. And so that'll be the first one that goes out next week. So if you join next week, you'll get another drawing in the pot, and then we'll draw live and see who wins next week. So we're going to do that every month. So
sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Well, love y'all. Thanks so much for joining. We will see you next